Capricorn, what's up? Welcome to your reading. We're going to see what messages want to come through for you, what you need to know right now for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus placements. If you're interested in getting a private reading with me, the info's in the description box down below. And let's see what you need to know, Capricorn. What is happening for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus placements right now? What do you need to release? A win-win outcome is forecast, and your dreams need a practical plan. We have Libra and Taurus energy, a lot of Venus vibes in the air. So Capricorn, there's something here that you're having to let go of. What is it that you're needing to release? Okay. Whatever it is that you're being guided towards, clearing, detaching, removing, it's really in your favor. Like, this is for the best. Everything that's happening for you is always for the best. Even if it doesn't make sense right now, or it doesn't seem like it, doesn't look like it, everything is always working out for you in your favor. A win-win outcome is forecast. So you can only gain from this. There is no loss. There is no loss. There's only gains. Okay? We'll see what this is about. Your dreams need a practical plan. Okay? Maybe you're needing to change your approach. Maybe you're needing to recalibrate the steps that you have been taking. Maybe it's time to go about this a different direction, a different way. Right? What do you need to release? The old plan, it's outdated, it's not working, it's not bringing you the desired reality or the results that you want or that you were hoping for, expecting. Something needs to be brought back into balance. Something's really out of whack, out of sync. And it's not bringing you that pleasure that you desire, right? We got this Venus energy. Venus is the planet of love and romance and pleasure and the things that feel good. It's also how we express ourselves, like physically, our aesthetic, our appearance. It brings in creativity and a flow. It's divine feminine energy. So perhaps there's like a needed adjustment somewhere in there. It's at the bottom. Fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries. So you have 3 full moons so far, talking about endings, illumination, clarity, releasing, letting go, making space. Things coming up about yourself, your identity. Aries is I am. So who are you? Who are you, Capricorn? When you look yourself in the mirror, I am blank. Who are you? Besides, my name is so-and-so. I am this. I'm a parent. I do this for a living. Who are you beneath those labels? Who the fuck are you? Who the hell are you? Time to reintroduce yourself. Time to get to know the new version of you. Libra highlights your relationships, your partnerships, your commitments, your duties for others, how you show up in partnerships. Taurus represents your finances, your investments, the tangible. It's what you have. I am versus I have. Those go hand in hand. And then also in the relationships, it's like, what do you have to offer? And what do they have to offer you? And how does that affect your identity and how you view yourself? And how you view yourself, how that affects the relationships that you're in, that you attract, how you interact in these connections of yours. And what is it that you are needing to release that may not be serving you at this time? Okay. And let's pull a couple animal cards, see how you're doing, how your energy is showing up right now. For Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus placements. You have the Earthworm. So something here, we got a new start. Early bird gets the worm. We have the Earthworm and the bear. Let's get one more. This one doesn't. Oh, hey, owl and the crow. There's some sort of like talent, gift, ability, skill that you have. And you're like developing it, or you're being guided towards using it to your benefit. Maybe you've been sleeping on your own potential. You have this gift though. It might be a spiritual gift, a healing gift, an intuitive gift. It might be a creative gift, right? Again, Venus energy. How do you express yourself? Through art, through creation, through your hands, through building. through music for some, right? Anyways, there's some sort of arts or some sort of craft, some sort of skill that you have, and it's truly a gift. And I think Spirit is saying it's time to use your gifts and abilities. So, anyways, going back to the Earthworm and the Bear, both these cards talk about new beginnings. Spring has sprung. Don't know where you live in the planet, but over here, spring has sprung. And you are just exactly where you need to be. You have so much time ahead. You have so much potential, so much possibility. Your whole world is opening up. Your whole world is opening up. It might be a little challenging at first. I'm not gonna lie, with the bear, sometimes this can represent a little bit of some hurdles at the beginning. It could get a little frustrating or irritating. Maybe there's moments where you want to give up. But whatever this is, you're a beginner at it. You're completely, like, this is new to you. This is unknown territory. You've never done this before. It's unfamiliar. So you're just getting the hang of it. It will get better with time. It will get easier with time. Observe yourself as you're learning, as you're growing, as you're maneuvering through. Observe this new version of yourself. And also pay attention to what old mindsets, old identities, old stories that are being brought up as you're starting this new cycle or new beginning, new project, new experience, new relationship, new job, whatever the fuck this new beginning is, and you're feeling frustrated and you're like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this. Observe it. Crow is also about self-study and being aware, self-aware. And, self-awareness is good and all, but it can sometimes stunt us when we don't know how to change it, or we make excuses just getting comfortable in what's familiar. You can be self-aware, but it comes down to, are you going to stick with it, or are you going to change it? And with the owl, this represents like unlocking a new perspective, seeing things a little bit differently. And it's also like being more mythical, more magical than like logical based, right? So you might be looking at a situation that's way more literal, and your needs to take a look at it more metaphysically, like energetically, not so literal sense, okay? So like think outside the box sort of thing. Okay. You might see a feather, right? We got 2 bird cards in your reading. You might see some sort of feather, or maybe recently. There might be a feather that you stumble upon. Show me clearly what's going on for Capricorn. We got the 7 of Pentacles. What you waiting for? The Moon. Something that you're heavily anticipating. What is this? Queen of Cups. Valor on top of the 7 of Pentacles. Your emotions are getting stronger as time passes, as the days go on. Your emotions towards something, someone are getting stronger. Your intuitive gifts, abilities also getting stronger. It's something that you're practicing regularly. Oh, nice. We got a King of Cups. We got a pair. Tower. I'm seeing this could be talking about the evolution within you, and this could also be talking about the evolution between you and another. So we'll have to read it both ways. 5 of Cups fell out right between the Queen and the King of Cups. Okay, at the bottom we have the 3 of Wands, the 9 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, and also the Hangman. So I am seeing that there are some people in your energy right now and are coming through in this reading. There's some things right now when dealing with others that are out of your control. There's some things you got to surrender to. I see you're making these personal plans and pursuits towards things that uplift you, things that make you feel good, new beginning stuff that we were talking about earlier. I'm seeing that there's some changes here that you were anticipating, and it is kind of heavy. It is kind of emotionally disappointing. I ain't gonna lie. Or you're not super... Was it? Yeah. Fellow over here. There's some things that you're disappointed by. But I wonder what the Tower is going to be. It's definitely going to bring in a shift. Maybe it's going to turn this entire situation around from a 5 of Cups to a 3 of Cups. That's a pretty big shift, turning things around for the better. So let's talk about this. Let's break this down a little bit more before we clarify. Starting off with the 7 of Pentacles. So this is representing a situation that you're already in the middle of. You're in the thick of, right? You might feel there's not a lot that's changing at this moment. You're observing. You're paying close attention. There's like an energy of waiting. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I can't remember what was at the bottom when this came out. It doesn't matter. But the 7 of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. So like emotions are brewing. They're bubbling up. They're getting stronger. You may have a hunch about a situation. That's also kind of, it's just getting more potent. You could be waiting for the right moment to express yourself or to like this is also healing too. Like healing takes time. It's not something that just happens overnight where you're finally over a situation. This could be highlighting a connection between you and another. You and someone could be going through some troubles or some troubled times. 5 of Cups. Maybe you both are going through personal struggles. Or you're witnessing someone that you care about go through it and there's not a whole lot you can do to change the circumstance. So you might feel like you got to just wait it out, right? This is highlighting, maybe you're dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Pisces and Scorpio coming through strongly in this reading. But it's kind of showing like time will tell how things may play out or what this relationship is or where this connection's going. Time will tell. Time is of the essence. 7 of Pentacles is normally like a timing card for me. With that 5 of Cups falling on top of the King and Queen of Cups, this is representing some sort of disappointment, suffering, pain, loss. It just feels heavy. So this could be like, again, what do you need to release or what's out of balance, right? Win-win outcome is forecast. So if you and someone are on the greatest of terms right now, perhaps that's where this win-win, bringing things into alignment, bringing things back into balance, healing, forgiveness could be taking place. But yeah, it's 5 of Cups. Someone's hurt, someone's disappointed, someone feels let down, alone, misunderstood. If this is just representing you, this is showing your progress as you are, if we read it like this, the Queen of Cups, the 5 of Cups to the King of Cups, as you sit with these emotions that are being brought up and you don't run from them, but you observe them and you express them and you reflect, you do some shadow work, all that jazz. It really helps you evolve and get stronger on an emotional level, and that's what's going to create a ripple effect with the Tower coming next, right? There is a shakeup here. There is some sort of shakeup, so we'll look into that. Then we have the 3 of Wands, okay? So 3 of Wands, we see here that there are 3 people, they're making plans, they're coming together, sharing their perspectives. And, you know, there's a lot of talks and there's a lot of movement or visualizing, planning ahead, preparing. Like there's this preparation. You're preparing for something pretty big. And the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is all about your independence. It's all about your well-being, your overall confidence, your own personal skills, your own goals, your own gifts, your talents. So it's kind of like you all are bringing your unique qualities to the table, and you may have different parts to play in this journey or in this plan. I don't know. There seems to be some sort of group effort though. The next card is a 3 of Cups. So it's like we got group energy, single energy, more group energy. So it's like you all have your own personal wants, needs, desires, goals, aspirations, but yet there's still like a unifying, like we have the same desires or we share some of the same goals. you might differ here, I might have this difference, but we can find a middle ground and we can like help support each other and celebrate one another. Like that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Like 3 of Cups and then the Hangman, you're able to see different points of views and you're able to feed off of that. So like what you might not understand or what your weaknesses is their strength and vice versa. That's kind of what I would get from this. 3 of Cups and the Hangman, your perspectives on some of these connections or people is changing as well, or the way that you look at them, the way you view them is changing. Seeing people in a different light. But this does feel more like a chill, I'm surrendering, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. Like it's a complete shift from the 5 of Cups to a 3 of Cups. So there seems to be a shift taking place in your relationships. You got a lot of cups, a lot of water. So lots of different feels being brought up here. Okay. 7 of Pentacles, see, let's clarify, get a deeper understanding. Something's in the works. 7 of Pentacles for, I was going to call you Gemini for some reason. Maybe you're dealing with one. 7 of Pentacles for Capricorn. You got Gemini placements. We have the Devil and the Ace of Swords. Well, any moment now. That's that self-awareness we were talking about earlier. You're like aware of something, but are you changing it? Are you staying in this cage? And you're like, well, that's just who I am. This is who I am. This is who I'm always going to be. So that's that. Right? Or Ace of Swords is at the bottom. Am I going to do something about it? Because I see clearly what's holding me back. What do I need to release? Right? What do I need to release? Here's a blade. Here's a sword. And cut through this tie. There's something that's holding you down. And look, underneath the Ace of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, more of this energy of let's observe, let's watch, let's prepare. There's this preparation. And then look, we have the Tower underneath that. So it's like you're preparing to take some sort of big step forward. You're preparing to free yourself from the cage, basically. Or why does this make me think of like if you were to rescue an injured animal and you help heal it and then you set it back out into the wild, right? You're not your pet. Let him go back out into the wilderness. That's like you. There's some part of you that's like wounded, needs to be healed, helped, hurt. You know, you're hurting. You need to help that part of yourself. And then finally, when you're ready, it's time to let it out back into the wild. That's the way it's coming through. Okay. So this change you're preparing yourself for, mentally preparing yourself for, it's time. It's go time. This can't go on. You know you can't keep living your life like this. You know that this isn't the way. It just isn't. Queen of Cups. Let's see here. Something recently has like touched your heart or has like activated some sort of emotion and it just gets stronger. Queen of Cups for Capricorn. The 9 of Pentacles, double confirmation. And the Moon. So this feels more like as you take time out, as you rest, recuperate, self-care, right? She's sitting in this hot tub, jacuzzi. She's basking in her own energy, her own glory, her own success, her own accomplishments, her, him, don't matter the gender. But this is where you're just, feels like a self-soothing, right? So you're like, yeah, I am in this trap. Yeah, I am in this cage. And you're like kind of just sitting in it. Wallowing in your pain, wallowing in whatever this is, you know, giving yourself permission to feel it, to fully submerge in it before you come out of it. Here we have the Moon. So this full moon in Scorpio, for listening to this reading around the time I post this, full moon in Scorpio might be bringing you all different feels and realizations. It's showing you your shadow side. It's showing you a little glimpse of what's going on underneath the surface. The Moon, Ace of Pentacles, and the 7 Wands. It's like an opportunity that catches you off guard, or it feels a little awkward, feels a little uncomfortable, or even a little triggering, but it's all for the best, right? This is all happening for the best. Win-win outcome is forecast. So 5 of Cups. My God, my hands are cold and my rings are just like slipping around my finger. Like they will not stay put. Okay. 5 of Cups. Temperance. What's at the bottom? 3 of Pentacles. Let me get one more on this 5 of Cups. 4 of Swords. 5 of Pentacles. See, there's some things that you've been kind of avoiding or overlooking, suppressing. It's right there in front of you. Maybe some people called you out on this. Maybe you called yourself out on this to an extent. Emperor, 2 of Cups. There might be some sort of relationship here who's trying to like take charge or initiate things. The Emperor, he really leads, right? So there's a connection, someone who is in this relationship with you. They may be, you know, they may seem to have more like kind of authority, or they seem to have this maturity about them. Like they seem very well put together, like they seem to have it figured out. And so during times of where you're struggling and you're suffering and you're going through the motion, and maybe you're falling into certain coping mechanisms, right? Go back to the devil, that maybe aren't the greatest, or you're self-sabotaging, you're locking yourself away, saying, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I can't have this, blank, blah, blah, whatever the fuck you're saying. You have the options available, but you're like, no, I don't deserve it, or no, I can't accept, I refuse. Okay. 5 of Cups, Temperance, and the 4 of Swords. I think this is just kind of saying like you need to just be in that energy for a moment, and there's nothing others can do to pull you out of it. No matter how good their intentions are, you kind of just have to sit in this for however long you need. You just need that moment to recalibrate and just kind of work through your shit. It's not personal. So cross-watcher, you're listening, it ain't personal. Capricorn's just working through their shit. They're kind of in like isolation. Here we have all these beautiful, cute little animals watching, but they can't interfere with this healing process, with Capricorn's processing. I also just heard resurrection. I don't know. There seems to be like, you can't interfere with this process. Can't interfere. Can't convince, can't persuade, can't change this person's mind. No matter how good your offers, your pentacles might be, how shiny and bright, they're just not able to see it right now. So Capricorn, you might not be able to see it right now. Until you choose, until you take charge, and you're like, okay, enough is enough. Enough of the sob story. Enough of this. Enough of this. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. My damn self. Okay, so King of Cups. Why is the King of Cups here? King of Cups for Capricorn. Six of Pentacles. And it did come out sideways. It's not entirely reversed, but it wasn't entirely upright. So there's a little imbalance. Let me see. If we're talking about your emotions, yeah, emotionally a little out of whack. That's why you're in this 4 of Swords, Temperance mode. Let me recalibrate. Let me come to my senses. We have the 9 of Swords and the Hangman. So, first of all, if we're talking about, this is within a relationship and you decide who's who, but this is representing someone that is feeling kind of stuck and powerless. Somebody who feels trapped, someone who feels like no matter what they do or say, it's just not reciprocated, or there's an imbalance. Like this King of Cups may feel, King of Cups, let's say that the 6 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles is reversed. This King of Cups person feels like this is not fair. This is unbalanced. I'm overextending. I'm over giving. I'm overly patient. This isn't being returned or like reciprocated right now. Taking things personally. King of Cups to a 9 of Swords. Feeling, okay, and because King of Cups, right? He's very sensitive to people's energies. Although he's not always, especially with this combination, he may not be super, not like he's open, but it's more like if you don't ask, he won't tell. sort of thing. Oh, fuck, what was I gonna say? It's gone. It slipped through my brain. Whatever I was gonna say is gone. But I was gonna, whatever, let's move past. This feels kind of like someone overthinking and taking things to heart. There's a level of discomfort or awkwardness here. And the King of Cups to the Hangman, they kind of just have to sit with it and observe it and try and see it from a different way. Or it's like emotionally processing the situation or the circumstance. And then we have the Two of Wands at the bottom. So like then there's like a choice. Page of Wands and then the Queen of Wands. And the choice is, okay, like I gotta kind of flip the way I'm looking at this. I need to choose to look at things in a positive perspective rather than negative, because that's getting me nowhere. There's like reframe the mind. Yeah, I don't know. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, Tower. Okay, so some sort of shakeup, some sort of change, some sort of surprise even. Sometimes Tower brings in surprises. All of a sudden I feel like this like lump in the throat. That's weird. It's gone now, but I just kind of felt like pressure in the throat. Maybe there's something you gotta express or something. And we have Ace of Swords at the bottom. There might be something you need to talk about or express. Okay, tell me the Tower. For Capricorn. Five of Wands. So there's like a breakthrough, okay? For the Tower. We got the Nine of Cups. Let's get one more. Eight of Wands, reverse. Interesting. Something here. I actually feel like there's a backtracking going on. There was a blockage or a delay or a setback. Redirection even. Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Seven of Wands. There's like a retracing of steps. Yeah, there is a backtrack. We go from an Eight of Wands to a Seven of Wands. So we're taking a step back. There's something we need to confront. All right. So it feels like when it comes to certain wishes or desires that you have, there's some sort of restraint or there's some sort of obstacle or challenge you're having to overcome. And this requires an adjustment, or this requires, again, something you have to release. Maybe we should look into that card before we wrap up this reading. Something you're having to release. Now, in the Five of Wands in this deck, they're all working towards the same common goal. And the Nine of Cups, it does talk about our own personal wants, desires, our needs, and our wishes. So then we have an Eight of Wands reverse, which can talk about like distractions, misdirection, kind of missing the whole point, a little bit off target, off the rails. So it's not quite there yet. There's some kind of adjustment that's needed. It's not quite the way that's needed to bring like victory. Although we do have an Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and then the Seven of Wands. Like, I'm seeing there's this opening. But with the Queen of Swords, we need to be logical here. We need to be reasonable. We need to be truthful, honest with ourselves, honest with other people. We need to strategize. We need to be disciplined. We can't keep on making excuses for ourselves or others. And there's something we need to confront here that is awkward or uncomfortable, or it's like loose ends, unfinished business, or someone's holding themselves accountable or holding someone else accountable or calling someone out on their shit. I don't know, but it feels like it's something you have, in order to get to this desire or wish fulfillment, there's like a hurdle you have to overcome. My right ear has started to ring. It's gone now, but that was quick. It was just like came and went. There's something that needs to be addressed head on. Otherwise, it just is like missed opportunity where it's like you're so close yet so far away. Oh my gosh. Where are we at? 29 minutes. Okay. Three of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. Let's take a quick look-see into this. Three of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. Three of Swords. Okay, it feels like shared pain. The Star. Ten of Wands, Lovers, shared pain. We have Gemini, Aquarius energy over here. There's regret. There's like an energy of like loss and suffering, but it's not just you, it's others that are involved here too. But then there's this need for like healing, forgiveness, recognition, transparency, authenticity, vulnerability, which takes us to a whole other level. Ten of Wands, there's a lot of pressure to be perfect, pressure to keep it all together, to not break, to not crack. Ten of Wands to the Lovers. So this, the way that I'm seeing this is like someone who sees this is something worth fighting for, someone worth fighting for, a commitment worth fighting for, a promise worth the effort, even during the hard times. Y'all, what is this? What is this? Self-discovery here. Three of Swords to the Nine of Pentacles. Through the pain, through disappointment, through heartbreak, loss, suffering, it takes you deeper understanding towards who the fuck you are. Right? Brings you closer to, especially if this is like with you and another, you in a group setting, it kind of like builds the bond or strengthens. Unless there's like some deep ass betrayal, then like probably not, right? But this is leaning on others, leaning on each other during times of struggles, building more trust in the connections. Three of Cups, Hangman. And then before we go, I'll quickly look into what do you need to release. Three of Cups, Hangman. Kind of it's like the moment you surrender, the moment you kind of just ease off the pressure, things seem to work out a lot easier and seamlessly. We have the Chariot, Cancerian energy, which is overcoming obstacles, confidence, and movement, momentum, drive. We have the Ten of Wands coming out, and Eight of Pentacles is at the bottom. So again, more of like group effort, teamwork. It's not all on you. A problem shared is a problem halved, right? And we can see in the Chariot, it's two of them working together to saddle up this seahorse. Normally in traditional chariot, it's like one person in the chariot and it's a two horses, but it's the opposite. So it feels kind of like splitting the weight, or it's not all on you. It's not all on your shoulders. It's not all your responsibility. It's like, especially if you're dealing with other people, it seems like it needs to be shared. Eight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. And there seems to be the desire, although here we have that Five of Pentacles again, where someone's kind of like maybe scared to take the first step, or scared to reach out, or scared to admit when they're wrong. But once they get over that hurdle, it's like, all right, now we can move past this. Now we can take this next step. Now we can move forwards. Now we can make progress. Now we can actually put in the work. You just have to be willing to look up. Once you're brave enough to look up and see what's in front of you, it's like, oh, there's actually like hope, and there's possibility, and there's like all this potential, that like a lot of goodness that can come out of this. You just got to be brave enough to look up, or you got to just be brave enough to free yourself from the cage, right? You're so used to this cage, even though it's really not that good to begin with. So what do you need to release? Yourself. You need to free your damn self, okay? Let me just quickly pull a card on this, and I gotta go. What does Capricorn need to release here? What is Capricorn? Oh, look, that was fast. And we have the Page of Swords. And the Empress. First of all, if there's anything that you need to say or get off your chest, get that shit out there. Talk, have that conversation, communicate, right? What do you need to release? If you've been keeping it in, time to let it out. What do you need to release? Certain ways of viewing the situation or viewing yourself, how you speak to yourself, how you talk to others, how you interact with others, how you be internalizing what people say to you, taking things personal. Wait, we saw that earlier with the King of Cups, Nine of Swords. What else? What do you need to release? Page of Swords. I'm not getting anything else from that. My mind's just quiet. So that's, if you have anything, comment down below. Empress with the, what do you need to release? Just feeling like you've been restricting yourself for so long, and the Empress wants to grow. Empress wants room to expand. Empress is ready to give birth, ready to flourish. She wants to get going, so you just need to release yourself, okay? Gosh, just fucking get out of your own way, okay? All right, whatever. I'm gonna let you go. Have a lovely day, Capricorn. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you later. Have a blessed day.